All right. Welcome once again to the beatzillapdx official show. I am your host, beatzillapdx officially, and this is the midweek report. News break style, news break edition. So that means that this is a tape delayed broadcast, but nonetheless, we are here. Hopefully, everybody is doing well on this midweek. And if you could, as you are coming in, please hit that like button, hit that share button. If you are watching on YouTube or on Twitter or X, come on over to the YouTube channel, beatzillapdx official, and make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the word all. That way you'll be notified anytime this channel goes live or a video is uploaded or premieres. And you can also join and be a member of the channel as well. And salute to all the members and salute to everybody tuning in right now. I appreciate all of you. Black first, and peace, power, blessings, protection be upon each and every one of you. Thank you. So with that being said, we are talking about hateful faces in high places. And as we have heard in years past, like, we need representation. We need representation. Well, sometimes representation does not represent who they look like. In this case, I think we can all be safe to say nobody on this screen besides, my picture as well, of course. But outside of myself, everybody on this screen does not care about Black folks. They are just Black faces in high places. But realistically, what we saw, especially in California with the whole reparations thing, we saw hateful faces in high places. And just because they're Black does not mean that they should get a pass, especially being against reparations and being against what the people actually stood for, went for. You heard the voices of the people. They tried to be janky with the communication, and still things were able to come forth, and people were able to call in and have sessions. Thanks to the pandemic, it allowed these meetings to be streamed because you had to stream them. And so people were aware. That say that nobody knew and they didn't have enough time to participate, that is not true. By the time that I think the third meeting rolled around, these things were very much being covered. These things were covered in the news, and like the third and fourth, the last few meetings were most definitely covered nationwide on mainstream news. So to say that, we need to go back and take a study, I don't think so. I think they got all the information they already needed. One of those things is lineage-based reparations and establishing the Freedmen's Bureau. Right there, they had a serious issue. Why would they have an issue with building up the Freedmen's Bureau? Well, because you're going to be talking about breaking checks off. And when you start talking about that money, people start getting a little funny. And always remember that there was this is who was tied to the Jam Woman. And these are people who, a lot of people say, Soros had something to do with the organization of this. But funding partners who are, and understand it, funding partners, thank you to our institutional funding partners who are committed to advancing reparations and transforming philanthropy for the better. See, this is why they're trying to interject immigrants into reparations, because they simply just don't want to do something for the Negroes. No. They don't want to do that. That's why this money is to prevent lineage-based reparations. And never forget.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No.
And always remember that. So that's a lot of money you see on the screen that they are spending to combat putting lineage-based reparations in play and going forward with it. So then you have other tired, shiftless Negroes that will be willing to stab Black folks in the back proudly and mock Black folks and then lie to Black folks and say Gavin Newsom had nothing to do with the bill. Gavin Newsom's proposed amendment that the Representative Bradford refused to do, he didn't change his bill. Also, Bradford found out that he had the votes for his bill, which if you look at that woman in the purple, she actually was saying they didn't have the votes. She also said that Gavin Newsom did not have any amendments to the bill, and it's already came out in drafts of said amendments. So you lied to Black folks for no reason. You snuffed the bill on purpose and just sat up there and smiled in Black folks' faces like it was cool. That's despicable. That's what's despicable. And we see when you have these DNC shills talking about anybody who is supporting Trump is despicable, how about these individuals right here that are supposed to be up there pushing for reparations and they're secretly over here killing it? And here's the other part. Gavin Newsom, they wanted to protect him. See, you don't even look out for your own folks to protect Gavin Newsom's political future. Are you kidding? But I don't believe personally that it's just about Gavin Newsom. I believe it's also about that woman in blue that you see right above him. You understand me? Same time this week, while all the other melee is going on, you might not have known that the paramedic that was responsible for the demise of Elijah McClain, a judge decided after a jury had found him guilty and he was sentenced to 5 years, a judge vacated his sentence after 119 days in prison after the deletion, the unlawful deletion of Elijah McClain, who was innocent, frail, and not at all anywhere near a criminal with a bag of snacks. And for some reason, he needed to be tackled to the ground. He never should even have been contacted. If anything, isn't this when police pull up and just observe somebody walk where they're going? What are you getting out of your car for making contact with this guy? Even if he looks suspicious by way of a phone call. But nonetheless, fast forward to today, one of the paramedics, the one who is responsible for the administration or overseeing the administering of the ketamine that they overshot him with, so gave him purpose. They're responsible. I mean, I guess you can't say premeditated, but they purposely gave him an overdose. And understanding his size, none of what they shot him up with didn't make sense. But nonetheless, that guy's free. Not a peep from these so-called caucus people. Where are all the Black politicians? And I thought about something here. There's something else that we as a people, especially as Black folks here in America, there's something that we really need to start holding Democrats' feet to the fire for, because so much has happened under the Democrats that One thing I do not understand is how so many people, especially these black folks, want to call folks stupid. But my question is this: under all of these Democratic leaders from the top down to the city level, which one of your black politicians that say they represent black folks, or which one of these white liberal politicians, or this so-called black and brown or minority coalition, where do any of them open their mouth up about the gentrification that has happened under Democratic watch since Bush left office? Black neighborhoods haven't been black since, and it was starting before then. But let's just look under whose leadership did most of the gentrification. I could say here in my own city, I definitely saw the most under Obama. I mean, gentrification on the narcotic. You understand me? And I would just wonder, how has it been for y'all in the neighborhoods and the cities and the states that you are your hometown? If you don't live in your hometown anymore, how does that look? How does your old neighborhood, the black neighborhood, look? You know what I'm saying? Unless like you live in Houston, but I mean, I'm sure there's probably parts of Houston that could be somewhat gentrified. But Houston, you know, again, that's you might have a Democratic led city, but you most definitely have a red state. But with that being said, how many of these politicians address gentrification? And in my city, we seen the hood just removed. However, they made provisions, and I'm gonna have to go back over there because I just saw it over the weekend. Because I wanted to, and I should have went prepared, but I was over there for a completely different reason. But this hacienda thing, I'm gonna have to just roll through there and get some footage of how much they spend. I mean, because this is in the same street that some of us have lived at one point in time. You know, if you from Portland, raise your hand if you ever lived on Killingsworth at any time, whether it be north or northeast. You know what I'm saying? And for those of us who lived on the northeast side of Killingsworth, I mean, I guess you might still find some black folks in the apartments. Maybe. But even that is extremely mixed. But once you get past 60th and over to like Cully area, man, and people would say, well, that's Little Mexico. Man, it ain't run down. I'll tell you that. They got a brand new apartment building, a brand new apartment complex. That's right across the street from the original complex that they also have had for them. All that hacienda. And see, they have, and then in that whole little enclave, they building like little neighborhoods and whatnot. And this is how they got it popping. So when they talking about, oh, we're gonna give 25,000 in assistance, this is 30,000 grant, not no assistant. This is a $30,000 grant on the city level, on the state level. I mean, well, shoot, realistically, haciendas in the city. What they say, 6,700 Northeast Killingsworth. Man, get on out of here. Get on out of here. I've lived in that zip code, you know, a couple times over. So I mean, man, miss me. And so that's just the northeast side. What about Albina? the Mississippi area. Mississippi, where back when I was a kid, around when my godparents lived on Michigan, you couldn't get the pizza man to drive down the back street back in them days. White folks didn't come over there. Not at all. Oh, no. They would not go over to that north side. No, sir. And I mean, it wasn't like it was the land of the zombies. It's just black folk. Just black folks, black families. We got schools over there. And they made sure to close the elementary school. That would have been one of the big signs that people should have known then and should have kind of raised more of a stink about, was when they closed Humboldt, which is a school here. They closed that, and Humboldt is like where that is right there where all the families that lived in the north side, because truth be told, what people don't tell you about our hood, people's living in houses, not a whole bunch of apartments over there on the north side. It's a lot of neighborhoods. It was just all black. And, now, not so much at all. And these folks look at you like you don't belong. Ain't been here but 5 years. But that's the nature of gentrification. And so I'm sure you have seen it in your city just like I have in mine. And now they're trying to sit up here and give illegals all of this. Well, sometimes you might have situations where ICE has to come through and regulate. And I ain't mad at that. And so salute to our brother Nas Escobar from X, formerly known as Twitter, who had posted this video up on his X. And because, they come over here and take all the jobs that nobody wants. I don't think so, but they don't tell you and show you this much on the news. But once again, shout out Nas Escobar. Thanks for the good find, as you always do, good brother. Appreciate it. Black first, of course.
So a week after the raids, one of the poultry companies involved held a job fair.
WJTV 12's Shay O'Connor reports from Koch Foods in Scott County.
Bright and early Monday morning, dozens of people turned out at Cook Foods employment centers in Martin and the Wynn Job Center in Forest are looking for a job.
I heard that, they were hiring, so I came down here to see if they needed somebody to drive one of the trucks for them, and me and my cousins, we came up here to see if they were hiring anywhere else in the warehouse.
The influx in job openings comes nearly a week after 680 undocumented workers were detained in ICE raids at food plants across the state. In the town of Martin alone, 243 people were taken from food plants, Cook Foods being where the highest numbers of workers were detained. Organizers with Wynn Job Center in Forest say they were contacted by the food company last week to conduct the fair.
They have to continue with business as usual. When they continue with business as usual, that means that they have to have enough people in order to process the poultry. And if they don't have that, then of course the lines are going to go down and they're not going to be able to be as productive as they should.
Cook Foods has at least 3 locations within the Morton area. Many who live in or near the small town say the plant doesn't hire much. Vermandez Davis says he is still shaken up by the raids, but says the job openings provide an opportunity for many.
I'm praying for the families of the people that got detained, for the situation that happened, but I feel bad for everything, but it just opened up more doors for other people that couldn't get anything done.
I ain't mad at that. And obviously, see, those jobs that they're going to fill, that's a livable wage. That's not picking fruit in a field. No, they was working at a poultry farm. They were working at a facility that isn't known for hiring. Go figure. See, that's the other part. See, they're not, our immigration system is broken. No, it ain't. It's how you designed it. You told us what was going to be the case, but you let in 12 million illegals. So yeah, there's that. And so ICE needs to be doing their work. And, with Kamala Harris talking to the Hispanic Congressional Black Caucus earlier today, it was very interesting. I want to take a little look at something she said in that particular venue. And then, of course, she finally got around to talking to the National Association of Black Journalists. It's crazy. I'll go through a little bit of her, but also, of course, there's some other clips that I must probably be doing this up until the election, and if I see something out there where the people are giving a testimony or giving their own testament of how they are viewing all of this, then I'm gonna most definitely give that some airtime and let that run. With that being said, though, where do I need to go first? Let's go to Corinne Shea Pierre. Maybe that's what we'll do there. Because I want to hit something that she does. And something that Trump should, I guess he's already kind of doing, is bringing up the fact of these people's rhetoric. It's like, you have been spending an awful lot of time to, let's not forget Michelle Obama. Put down your phone and get up and do something. And now we have people out here doing something. There's been one attempt with a shot fired, with shots fired, and then another attempt with not a shot fired, but and then there was some kind of word, but that might have been a troll that posted earlier. There might have been a third attempt that ended up getting foiled, but who knows? So let me see something here. Okay, so let me get this in here. Oh man. Shea Pierre is always a gas. The gift that always keeps on giving, ladies and gentlemen. Shea Pierre. And for me, when it comes down to her, she's always struck me as, a very staunch liar. I guess to say the least. Oh, okay. Let's get that. Okay. All right. There we go. All right. So let's take a little listen to the exchange here, because they have a lot of rhetoric. It's going from Project 2025, and he's going to have a national abortion ban. Okay.
Thank you, Corinne. It's been only 2 days since somebody allegedly tried to kill Donald Trump again. And you're here at the podium in the White House briefing room calling him a threat. How many more assassination attempts on Donald Trump until the president and the vice president and you pick a different word to describe Trump other than threat?
Now, that's a legitimate question, because at the end of the day, why would the press secretary from the White House itself keep labeling someone a threat? People hear threat, they don't automatically go, oh, figuratively. No, they're saying threat as threat. And what do you want to do when you want to feel safe? You neutralize the threat. So yeah, there is some culpability there when you consistently keep throwing things out there, especially when you keep throwing things out there that aren't true. The man repeatedly said he ain't doing an abortion ban. And not only that, an abortion ban couldn't happen at this point because you would need the votes and it couldn't take place. So that's impossible. But they keep throwing it out there like you should fear. It's literally numerically impossible. So there's not going to be an abortion ban. Why not stop with the over the top lying with that? I mean, let alone Project 2025 being pushed along with this is Trump's policy. It's not. It's not his policy. Nobody's running on it. Matter of fact, the only people bringing it up is you. It's a talking point, not anything to fear. Nothing more, nothing less, because it is not an agenda. But it's so much rhetoric that it's more rhetoric than anything that they're doing. All they can do is say Trump, 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 Trump. I want you to sell you to me. And you can't sell yourself to me if you're only selling me Trump. Because at the end of the day, Trump good, Trump bad. Trump, Trump, Trump is all that's in your mouth. So I can now take for myself what obviously Trump is more valuable than your candidate. Because you can't shut up about him. And right now, if Kamala is an individual who's running, maybe we should hear some things from her, hear about what she's actually going to do versus flim-flamming around and giving a bunch of word salad and then reheated or remixed or repurposed speech pieces from the speech that we've already heard 1,000 times. Well, my mother was middle class, and she talks about her mother finally saving up to buy a home. She doesn't ever mention that home she bought was in Canada. I mean, so there's a big, huge issue, again, with her dishonesty and the blatant dishonesty. Then the cosplaying, because she keeps doing this weird thing now where she's trying to cosplay being FBA. That's not okay. I don't know what y'all talking about. I'm not finna sit up here and let this woman pose herself off as she got some kind of tie to our ancestors. But on top of that, what I will end up getting to later is when she was over there with the Hispanic caucus. Oh man, she relates to them immigrants very well. When she's awkward around black folks and with black folks, she has to fake it up. She go over there and was immigrating it up. But let's hear what Shay Pierre says.
Peter, if anything from this administration, I actually completely disagree with the premise of your question. The question that you're asking, it is also incredibly dangerous in the way that you're asking it.
No, it isn't. What you keep doing has only created the clear danger. There's two assassination attempts since you guys have began with the rhetoric. There's some ownership to be had. There's a responsibility to be had here. We did all of them years hearing about how Donald Trump incited the violence of January 6th. But somehow the Democrats consistently repeating MAGA extremist threat and danger and dictatorship and all of these other key words and banning abortion and all of these different fear tactics. They act like that's not inciting the violence that they're seeing. They are the root cause of the violence that keeps happening. But she's going to turn around and it's dangerous. This is why we need to go forward. And you know what you can't do by going forward is doing the same old thing you did yesterday, which means you have to embrace something other than a two-party system to truly be going forward. Maybe I'm missing something, but let's hear more from this liar.
Because American people are watching. And to say that from an administration who has consistently condemned political violence.
You can't condemn something when you keep lying and inciting it with a lie. That's the problem. You can't keep lying and then incite something to happen and then say, oh, it's not me. Yes, it is you. And then to turn it around like it's dangerous. It's already dangerous. You're 2 attempts in, ma'am. To sit up here and say now it's dangerous, you don't have to ask yourself what will be. It's already happened. Thanks to you. This is solely on Democrat shills and all the mouthpieces and the talk. This is all on you. This is y'all playbook. Y'all spend all of this time lying. This is Project 2025. The world's going to come to an end. There's never going to be any more democracy. He's going to take all our elections away. They stopped telling that lie. They didn't mention that in front of his face. But they were telling you this. They were telling the public this. Oh, but they're not responsible for any of this violence. We condemn the fight. No, you don't. You incite it. And to sit up here and cite that, say all that crazy madness y'all been saying, and then turn around and say, well, we condemn it. What is different? I mean, this is hypocrisy on 100.
From an administration where the president called the former president and was thankful, grateful that he was okay. From an administration who has called out January 6th, called out the attack of Paul Pelosi, called out and said we need to lower the temperature after
the attack on Paul Pelosi. What the hell does that have to do with this? And we condemn January 6th. So she throws January 6th in there. That doesn't change what you guys have been doing now. That doesn't change at all what you're doing right now. Well, look over here. Oh, wow.
After the Butler incident. And now for you to make that kind of comment in your question, because your question involved a comment and a statement.
Yes, it did.
And, you know, it is, that is also incredibly dangerous. When we have been very clear in condemning political violence from here.
Yeah, but then you turn around and lie. So you still kept the energy there, trying to absolve yourself from this, sweetheart, and all of you other Democratic shields. If you think that anybody should be looking at you as that you are not solely responsible for promoting the energy of these violent acts. Because yes, absolutely, that's what you done. So that's enough of Shay Pierre. I just wanted to give you a tad bit piece of that because that's a lot of the garbage that they keep talking about. It's like, Lord. And then fast forward. See, you guys need to give Kamala Harris a chance. I don't think so. Y'all are doing a lot of involuntary crashing out just fine. Or voluntary crashing out. Oh, no, that's not what I want to play for you. So let me go over here. Let me get this. So, Kamala Harris is going to give you some answers. Okay. So, for those of you who I'll preface this is the question. She was asked about reparations and if she would sign a reparations bill. Most of us saw this and said, "Oh, well, of course she's dodging the question." But you do have some special ones out there that are trying to say, "Man, I think she answered this question fantastically." Yeah. Let the family be the judge of this one.
What we need to do going forward. Look, first of all, we just need to speak truth about history, in spite of the fact that some people are trying to erase history and try and teach our children otherwise. We need to speak truth about the generational impact of our history in terms of the generational impact of slavery, the generational impact of redlining our history in terms of the generational impact of slavery, our history in terms of the generational impact of slavery, the generational impact of redlining, of Jim Crow law. I could go on and on and on.
One more time.
Our history in terms of the generational impact of slavery, the generational impact of redlining, of Jim Crow law. I could go on and on and on.
But you probably shouldn't. Because with that big old lie you just told, our history, ma'am, you ain't got near hands and no parts of no chattel slavery. None. None whatsoever. And it's this type of energy that we absolutely cannot allow in our midst, calling no shots about what we supposed to get. Absolutely not. Well, she know when, no, she don't. Oh, no, she don't. No, this, and not only that though, and y'all looking at this woman and really telling yourselves this is a black woman. That is amazing to me. But anyway.
These are facts that have had impact. And we need to speak truth about it. And we need to speak truth about it in a way that is about deriving solutions. And frankly, I think that we, and part of that is studying it to figure out exactly what we need to do. But part of what we can do right now is, for example, what I'm talking about in terms of building an opportunity economy, which
no. No, see, because opportunity is a liftoff, which of course black folks always get left out when it's a lift off. So this particular conversation, Kamala, whichever you would like to go by today, this conversation is only about one group, just one particular group, the one that you keep for some reason identifying as those people whose families built this place. But now, looks to me, I would like to know, when you say our history, who's our? Who's the our part? Because I know my ancestors here. Who are your ancestors from chattel slavery in America? And we just supposed to just let that lie slide? Okay.
Which is addressing explicitly the obstacles that historically and currently exist and dealing with them. Student loan debt, medical debt, bias in home appraisals. What we need to do in terms of dealing with an issue that I have championed for years, Black maternal mortality.
What you could do is cut a check, because everything that you're talking about is handled with that. Everything you rambling on about right now has nothing to do with that. Absolutely nothing. And again, this isn't about this. What you're Everything you're talking about that we could do is not repairing the damage done. And I always want you to point out to you, always notice that they never talk about gentrification, never talk about the harms done by gentrification. How has gentrification is a targeting. So if you can, in recent years, Black Americans have been targeted by, even down to local government. Gentrification is something that most definitely should be spoken about, because that's another way of targeting the exact same group over and over and over and over again. And here she is talking about things that we need to talk about and discuss. If we're going to talk about the harm, then we have to talk about gentrification, because there's a hell of a lot of harm in that.
Which is the fact that Black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die in connection with childbirth than other women. And we know that the reasons for that include disparities that pre-exist her pregnancy.
I wonder what, when we still had Black-owned and Black-ran and Black-controlled hospitals, how much of this was an issue? I have suggested before, we need our own hospitals. Everything she keeps talking about is really remedied with under the confines of reparations. There's no individual fixes here. And it's most definitely how she's presenting it. All of that stuff would be going to illegals as well. That's not a fix for foundational Black Americans, especially when you are already giving illegals these home loans, and they're getting thousands of food stamps and thousands in cash and welfare. They are the #1 welfare recipients in America right now. Got to be, hands down.
Including disparities that exist in the system during her pregnancy. So all of those things must be addressed.
But do you have a position on whether that should happen, this commission should happen through executive order or via Congress?
I think Congress ultimately will have the ability to do this work. I'm not discounting the importance of any executive action, but ultimately,
I want to get it out of my hands like a hot potato and let it just be kicked around over there in Congress versus signing an executive order. See, they always talking, she wants to be in the light of Thurgood Marshall. Thurgood was never president. Never did. I think he aspired to be. What you could do and what you should do is look at yourself as one Lyndon Baines Johnson. And you get that pen in your hand. And you sit down there with the Black grassroots while we're all around and we're watching you sign reparations into law. Just like the civil rights. Because Lyndon Baines Johnson was not who the people voted for like that. But he still had to sign that bill. Let the people speak when they really want to speak, and things will get done. And if it wasn't for the grassroots, we would not be here right now. So once again, salute to all of you. And these people right here, you don't owe them a damn thing. So here's some more of this.
Congress, because if you're going to talk about it in any substantial way, there will be hearings, there will be a level of public education and dialogue that, and I think that was part of the spirit behind the congressional action thus far, to ensure that everyone can participate in this conversation in a way that elevates.
Whoa. Why would everyone participate in the harm done to one group? Why? Why would that be? I don't think that's beneficial. Now, do you, family? Do you think that's a beneficial thing? I myself do not. But let's hear a little more.
Knowledge about history and the reference points that have that are the impetus of this conversation.
Ma'am, do you understand that they had to tear down Confederate statues here? What do you think them Confederate statues was up for? What were they supposed to be representing? So to act like we have to be in some conversation to discuss that? No, these people know good and doggone well what our history is here. The only people that probably don't are immigrants. So the fact that you even saying something foolish like this, it's not a discussion for everybody. It's a discussion of the descendants of those who were harmed, period.
Especially, again, when people are trying to deny history. When people are, so-called leaders are saying that enslaved people benefited from slavery. I mean, let's talk about the Delta here in terms of the work that needs to be done. It's profound.
Madam Vice President, I want to move.
Not really saying much, sis. Yeah. Okay. And we're supposed to be falling head over heels for that. No. I really don't think so. That just sounds stupid. Sounds stupid to do. But I guess there's a lot of our folks that just sometimes are gluttons for punishment. But let me see. Yeah, I'll see. Okay, yeah, I'm going to go here now. Let me cue this thing up for you. So let you see how she interacts with the Hispanics. Just a second. That's 1 second here. I got to find where I need to be. Okay. Let's check it out.
Please have a seat. Please have a seat. Please have a seat. Oh, it's good to see so many friends. I love you back.
My abuela.
Let them get their foot in the door.
Yeah, hold on.
And it's too expensive, both for renters and for folks who want to buy a home. So we will build together millions of new homes and give first-time home buyers $25,000 in down payment assistance.
All of you illegals, hey, oh man, you don't know, we got to vote for her because I'm going to call my cousins back home. And yes, and they're going to come and they're going to bring some more. Yeah. Come here legally, though.
Because look, people just want to get their foot in the door. My mother worked hard. She saved up. It wasn't until I was a teenager that she was able to buy our first home. And the American dream is elusive.
What? Oh, well, I guess technically what she would have been, I guess, turning 13 in the process. She's born what, 69? No, that math don't make sense. When was she born? Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on just a second. What's that? Kamala Harris age? I said age, doggone it. What year was Kamala Harris born? (1964). And from the paperwork that I remember, well, actually, the paperwork that I've seen from her mother purchasing her house, that was somewhere around like 1975, 1976. So her being a teenager, yeah, that 1964 to, no, you're not a teenager yet. Young, but you know, and so she kind of gave up the game again. Let you know that she was around middle school age when she was in Canada, because that's where that house was bought. I've seen the money transfer from her mother with that down payment. And what's crazy is that's $20,000 back then, and right now she over here talking about $25,000 now. Just put that in perspective.
For far too many people increasingly. And that's why it is part of my perspective that let's just do the work of giving first-time home buyers a $25,000 down payment assistance. Let them get their foot in the door. We need to lower the cost of healthcare and continue to take on big pharma and cap the cost of prescription medications.
Listen to this.
Yes, for our seniors, which we have done together, but for all Americans. Because when we look at drugs like insulin, everyone here knows.
Now, this is the same conversation pretty much that you have in front of Black folks. Let's hear what she's about to say.
First of all, Latinos are 70% more likely to be diagnosed with diabetes. And with the support of CHC, we were able to cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month for our seniors. In fact, recently I was in Nevada. I'm in these streets, let me tell you, I'm everywhere. But I was recently.
I would say I be in these streets. I mean, I'm in these streets, let me tell you. Come on, man. Stop.
Recently in Nevada, and a woman came up to me with tears in her eyes, and she showed me the receipts for her mother's insulin. And she showed me many papers, and I said, tell me what these are. And she said, well, these are the receipts, and I want you to see where it used to cost us hundreds, if not $1,000 a month, but no more. The work we are doing together.
Y'all believe that a woman came to her with a handful of receipts and showed her a handful of receipts? Y'all believe that?
The very purpose of CHC and all of the leaders here includes having a real impact on real people. And I have
you know, and here's the thing. This is the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. Listen to what they're talking about. They're actually talking about doing something for them. They're talking business.
I have the blessing of being able to travel our country and see it every day. It's extraordinary work that is happening because of the leaders here. We, because of our work together, have finally given Medicare the power to negotiate lower drug prices with Big Pharma. And understand, if my opponent, Donald Trump, wins, his allies in Congress intend to end Medicare.
That's not true. So that's a lie. Donald Trump and his friends are going to end Medicare. That's not even in Project 2025. I don't even know where that lie comes from. I guess they figure people ain't going to be doing their due enough diligence. That's not true for those who didn't know. That's not Trump's plan, nor is that even in Project 2025. However, Trump has actually said the opposite multiple times, that he would never touch Medicare. But nonetheless, here she is again telling you something that has already been proven untrue.
And end Medicare's negotiating power, as they remind us again this week. They are essentially saying, check this out, because you have to ask why, right? So why would you want to end Medicare's negotiating power against Big Pharma? And essentially, they're saying that it's not fair to Big Pharma.
You know, the funny thing about that is you're actually trying to, you were proposing people losing their private health insurance at one point in time. So it's kind of interesting that now you take this position. Here you're dealing with another flip-flopping ideals. Go figure. I'm not looking for anybody to be perfect, but to be this grossly dishonest is crazy. Let me skip a little forward because I want this little piece I want her to get to.
And protect our dreamers.
Ah, yes, there we go.
Of the community. And we should, when we extended the child tax credit, cut child poverty by 50% by half. Think about what that meant for so many families.
Right.
The vast majority of parents have a desire to raise their children well. They love their children, but don't necessarily have the resources to do everything their child needs. I grew up understanding the children of the community are the children of the community.
I grew up knowing that the children of the community are the children of the community. Okay. All right.
And we should all have a vested interest in ensuring that children can grow up with the resources that they need to achieve their God-given potential.
You know, that would have been a great answer when she was talking about reparations. In her response to reparations, shouldn't we have heard something of the sort like this, to where, you know, ending child poverty was important? In that moment, how don't we hear about your ending child poverty? Interesting.
So I know where I come from.
Oh.
And we have to always put, and I know CHC agrees with this, and this is part of our collective life's work. We have to put the middle class first. We have to put working families first, understanding their dreams and their desires and their ambitions deserve to be invested in, and it will benefit everyone. And together, CHC, we must also reform our broken immigration system. And protect our dreamers. And understand we can do both, create an earned pathway to citizenship and ensure our border is secure. We can do both, and we must.
But you let in 12 million illegals, border czar. So why are you now telling we can do both? Shouldn't you have already done it? Considering that you were supposed to be the one controlling the border, you know.
Do both. And while we fight to move our nation forward to a brighter future, Donald Trump and his extremist allies will keep trying to pull us backward. We all remember what they did to tear families apart. And now they have pledged to carry out the largest deportation, a mass deportation in American history.
Woohoo! Fire up the jet. Fire up the jet. Fire up the jet. Let's get it cracking. Let's get it cracking. Yes, 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 indeed. Let's get this popping, ma'am.
We must do both.
Up and away.
And while we fight to move our nation forward to a brighter future, Donald Trump and his extremist allies will keep trying to pull us backward.
Fire up the jet.
We all remember what they did to tear families apart.
Fire up the jet.
And now they have pledged to carry out the largest deportation, a mass deportation in American history.
Fire up the jet.
Imagine what that would look like and what that would be.
A bunch of illegals getting their ass the hell up out of here. That's what it looks like, ma'am. And then black folks, like what I played earlier, can step in and fill those positions that have been getting illegally filled with illegal aliens. And then there is a pathway to ending poverty in the black community. But see, we have to get those black jobs, because if we don't have those black jobs, then we can't go forward. See, I got to get my Michael Eric Dyson on. See, what you don't understand of the extrapolations of the situation is that we capitulate. Oh man, if Michael Eric Dyson don't sound like a damn hustler, I don't know what does. Fast talking, slick talking coon. I mean, well, no, I can't say that because you got a wife that's black. Oh man, that's right. Missed there. But always talking about what black men and black men's relationship to black women. Funny, you ain't married one. Anyway, let's keep going.
How's that going to happen? Massive raids?
Yes.
Massive detention camps?
No need for detention camps. You do them just like you did them Haitians and fire with the jet. Ain't no need. See, camp is under the impression that you'll be staying for a while. No, this is deportation, meaning you're moving today. We got this new ticket. Where are you going? Where you from? Well, here you going back. Please. And for detention, for all them other people who are probably on terrorist watch lists and no-fly lists that you illegally let in this country, I think they do need to probably be detained because they should not be in this country roaming freely. All of these people who get to remake themselves and come in here with all of their criminal history, and y'all over here treating them like they've never stolen as much as a candy bar. Some of these folks done stole life. And y'all over here like, come on freely and come into this black neighborhood, because if there's any trouble, we know that you'll be in close proximity to go harm them. And yet you still get the brain dead Negroes. Man, we got to vote for these people. What else we gonna do? You move forward and you stop looking at a two-party system and you look beyond it. Let's hear a little more, because there's something that she says. I might have to go back to catch that.
What are they talking about? They will also give billions of dollars of tax cuts to billionaires and corporations, massive tax cuts, pardon January 6th perpetrators who attacked our capital not far from here.
And folks, all the folks you mentioning are citizens. Illegal aliens don't have any entitled to any of these rights. So why are you even you're confusing the people, and you're mixing apples and oranges. There's citizens and there's non-citizens. Them non-citizens don't have the same rights, nor are they entitled to as citizens.
They would cut Social Security and Medicare.
Yep, that's a lie. So again, she repeats the same lie once again.
Intend to end the Affordable Care Act and threaten the health care of more than 5 million Latinos in our country. All based on, I'm sure many of you saw the debate. So on that point about the Affordable Care Act, all based on concepts of a plan. Concepts. Their Project 2025 agenda would pull our nation backward. But
it's not their project. It's not, again, Project 2025. You're going in the same circle, saying the exact same thing that we already know isn't true. What are you going to do, though? Different than what we're seeing now that is caused by you.
We are not going back. We are not going back. We are not going back.
Okay, let me hear.
Being able to travel our country and see it every day.
Let me see.
But I'll tell you what's not fair. What's not fair is that our seniors for too long have had to or are paying their rent. That's not fair.
2025 an agenda that would cut Medicare. We will also cut taxes for working families. We are to be
bear with me.
true to our values and be true to
She said something about her
understanding
mother.
that parents, in particular young parents, need that support. I grew up understanding the children of the community are the children of the community. Part of our collective life's work. We have to put the middle class first. We have to benefit everyone.
Not everyone thing.
And together, CHC, we must also reform our broken immigration system.
Okay. Maybe it's back
about
here.
anything, much less injustice, right?
Okay. Right.
Treat her. But I'm going to tell you something, and this is where I come from. My mother never lost her cool. She never defined her sense of dignity based on how others treated her.
Slap in the face to black folks right there. Don't miss it.
She was a proud woman. She was a hardworking woman. She had two.
Sounds like another slight at black folks.
Goals in her life: to raise her two daughters, my sister Maya and me, and to end breast cancer. She was a breast cancer researcher. And growing up, our mother taught us certain fundamental values: the importance of hard work, the power of community, and the responsibility that we have to not complain about anything.
Wait a minute, what now? The responsibility you have not to complain about anything. That is a deep statement. That is a very deep statement. And I wonder how many of these immigrants are taught that. Why do you think that? And then they come around and get in our mix is a person that's their fundamental value. How on earth do you see them being a social justice advocate? How? Those things are fundamentally opposite. Let's hear a little more.
Much less injustice, right?
You don't complain about injustice. Are you hearing this, ladies and gentlemen? This was, man, she black. She understand what we going through. Now, let me rewind that for you.
Life: to raise her two daughters, my sister Maya and me, and to end breast cancer. She was a breast cancer researcher. And growing up, our mother taught us certain fundamental values: the importance of hard work, the power of community, and the responsibility that we have to not complain about anything, much less injustice, right? Because why are you complaining about it? She would say, do something about it. And that's how I was raised. Do something about it. And
injustices, do something about it, but you're saying do something about it, but don't complain. Well, what is this saying especially in Washington? The squeaky wheel gets the oil, or the squeaky wheel gets the grease. But all of a sudden, that part don't make no sense. How so? And somebody enlighten me. Help me out here, ladies and gentlemen. I'd just like to know. I mean, are we seeing hateful faces in high places? Can you agree with me that this woman absolutely don't rock with black folk? You understand? She does not. She just simply does not. You know, is it okay to admit yet that this woman ain't really rocking with black folks like that? I wish people would learn to accept it. That's for certain. But nonetheless, yeah, this is the scenario, ladies and gentlemen. And she could tell you we were taught not to complain. Let's hear a little more.
Those values have guided me my entire career.
Oh!
From, as you heard, being a young courtroom prosecutor in Oakland, California. We're Bay Area.
Okay, so and the thing about that, so you thought that meant go be a prosecutor? All the anti-Black cues are there, ladies and gentlemen. She went to go be a cop because the people who were complaining were Black people. And she's going to go do something about it. Who's she go do something about? Black people. Did she not? Man, she ain't never did nothing to your Black folks. Man, you hear all that stuff, man. You need to do your research on that, man. She ain't did nothing to no Black people, never. Well, if that was completely true, we wouldn't hear the one brother saying that woman was in the back of the courtroom smiling at him. That's wicked. But even more so, this story also would not exist.
Black lives matter to her. Why didn't I matter?
Because of truancy, California public schools lose $1.4 billion a year in funding.
I want money.
And so she can understand getting to the dollars when it's about locking Black folks up. But getting Black folks money, not so much. So, when you hear that it is ingrained and fundamental to not complain, you better remember that her mother's an immigrant coming over here. Them folks ain't fond of Negroes. So why we're complaining? She came over here and wrote Caucasian. She was aligning with Caucasians. Why you think her daughter married a white man? Because that's where she was aligned. You better know it.
Wow. I don't agree what Kamala Harris did to my mom.
So I decided I was going to start prosecuting parents for truancy.
And I spent a majority of my time here at the hospital.
When Kamala Harris was
that is evil.
The California Attorney General, she had me arrested and prosecuted because my handicapped daughter was sick in the hospital and had missed some days of school.
I have sickle cell anemia. Sickle cell anemia is a hereditary disease and it is very, very painful.
Yes, indeed. It's a painful disease. My cousin passed away from it in 1997. But always went through painful, very painful episodes and what do they call them? Crisis. So for those who have family members or you yourself suffers with sickle cell, I definitely understand what you're going through. And that little girl, which is now, a young woman, watching her mother go through all of the stress of seeing this demon. I mean, y'all over here, sister girl, and she's not cool, y'all. She's evil and wicked. And this is how actual people have been done by this woman.
In 2012, like all California parents, I received a threatening letter from Kamala Harris saying, we'll go to jail for a year if our kids even miss 10% of school days. Wow. Little did I know, there was a warrant out for my arrest. All of a sudden, the police is outside my house and they started banging on the door. They told me I was under arrest for my child missing school. I was shocked. I said, but my baby is sick. The school knows that. And they said, go talk to Kamala Harris. Place your hands behind your back.
My mom did nothing wrong. We did everything we were supposed to. I was always bringing doctor's notes, always calling the school to let them know that I was in the hospital.
But my hell was just beginning. They gave me 2 charges. I spent the next 2 years in court fighting these charges. Kamala assigned her nastiest prosecutors to my case.
Yo, this is horrible, man. This woman is evil, man, and this is a hateful woman. This is a hateful face in a high place. Family, hit that like button.
My homicide prosecutors, my gang prosecutors. And they went over there and I said, when you go over there, look really mean.
Wow. Why is that cool? See, understand what we're talking about when she's talking about ingrained in her. So just showing you culturally how she has actually viewed Black people. And yes, she could go to Howard because it's a career move. But these are the realities of her feeling toward the community. Period.
All the time I had to spend going to court, I was struggling to care for my shame.
Wow.
We are going to make sure that you face the full force and consequences of the law.
I lost my job and couldn't pay rent.
Wow.
And we got evicted. I became homeless. We had to move into a motel.
And I ended up being in the hospital a lot. Now,
what I don't understand about this particular video, that last clip they just showed of the Palms Hotel, for those who don't know, that's actually that shot. I guess they needed it for stock footage, but that's Portland, Oregon, right there. That would be the Palms on North Interstate, and that would be the I think that the Yellow Line Max train going south on Interstate. So for those of, I was just wondering about this, like they weren't at that hotel unless they were in Portland by that time. But again, I just wanted to point that out. But let's hear some more.
During her trial, in that hospital stay was when I had my stroke.
I had a stroke about 4 or 5 days ago, and right now I'm doing pretty good. My hand is doing okay, I guess.
Let's be clear, my values have not changed.
Look, I am.
That young lady is has long-lasting, if not permanent, damage from her stroke that she had by way of Kamala Harris policies and over enforcement. Why would you send your gang unit for truancy? That's like saying every poor Black kid, and you know what I'm saying? Now, she tries to pass herself off as her mother was a single mother and all of that, but she got no love for Black single mothers. Reason is because she actually had a father. Now, there was some later on issues, but then, of course, they moved to Canada, went to another affluent community, which was more culturally immigrant-based, a lot of Indians up there. And she talks all this middle-class crap. She didn't grow up that way in high school. Not to mention, like I said, you got two parents, because she's like, oh, my mother was finally able to save up. Both of her parents are freaking professors. Like, can we please cut it out? And she act like her mom or dad was a garbage man and her mom was a secretary. Both of them were the dad's a professor, an economist. Like, what are you talking about? There ain't no slouches over there. They let you into this. They let your folks into this country because they were the smart ones. That's how this works. But you wouldn't know that had you, because you don't have history and roots in America. Simple.
Not a political person, but I want people to know what Kamala Harris has did to me. If she do it to me, she will abuse anyone if you give her the power.
The truancy program got a lot of criticism too. Did you actually lock anybody up?
No, we never locked anybody up. We did prosecute some cases, but far few, only about 20.
How she get right up there in front of Black folks and lie. That's why she went up there and told, and you see her do it right there, real time. So what did she just tell Charlemagne? I didn't prosecute anybody. We didn't put anybody in jail for truancy. And then the next one, Yeah, we prosecuted some cases. Yeah, about 20. I mean, just as easily, just telling that lie as it is nothing. But that's Kamala Harris for you.
Message to all Americans, especially Black Americans, do not trust Kamala Harris.
Uh-huh. Straight out the horse's mouth, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have to make nothing up. That woman done been through her own situation. So, and she's not the only one. So what do we say? What the hell do we say? You know, at some point, you gotta embrace the reality of it. And let's see, where is that other? Yeah, let me just play the audio from this interview, because everybody talks about, you know, she's so presidential. I don't think so. So let's hear this last little bit, and I'm sure a lot of you have already heard this word salad clip, but for sake of argument, this is the first time that I'm getting a chance to play it. So let's play it now.
When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid. My mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard. She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager. I grew up in a community of hardworking people, you know, construction workers and nurses and teachers. And I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience, you know, but a lot of people will relate to this. You know, I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn, you know, and I was raised to believe and to know that all people deserve dignity, and that we as Americans have a beautiful character. You know, we have ambitions and aspirations and dreams, but not everyone necessarily has access to the resources that can help them fuel those dreams and ambitions. So when I talk about building an opportunity economy, it is very much with the mind of investing in the ambitions and aspirations and the incredible work ethic of the American people, and creating opportunity for people, for example, to start a small business.
Okay. Just so I was clear, let me listen to this question again.
When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
What's one or two specific things you Well, word salad. Nothing specific. My opportunity zone. Yeah. Jeez. So with that being said, I think there's one video that I want to play. And I think I'll end it with this sister and let her bring tonight's broadcast on home for me. And this obviously is from a sister's. I'm not sure if this is a TikTok or where she posted this video, but I seen this on I think either X or Instagram, and I want to share this with you. And I will let our sister have the floor.
A lot of y'all that be in my comment section calling me all type of negative names because of my opinion and the party I'm supporting, you claim you love God. A lot of y'all be in church every Sunday saying, I'm blessed and highly favored, I'm this, and God don't play about me. Baby, God know you a demon. You are a demon, because anytime you can support a party that's promoting homosexuality, that's promoting transgenderism, that's promote the exploitation of children, You can't be of God. See, what y'all want to do is associate God with blessings. I'm still blessed. I'm still blessed. Baby, demons get blessings too. God said in the scriptures, even fools prosper. But see, what you don't prosper in is wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of God's word in the scriptures. You really be out here trying to manipulate God. You really be out here just using God so that he can give you money and all type of physical materialism. That's what you really about. And that's why your life the way it is. That's why you can support a party who clearly states what they're about. They're not hiding it. These demons ain't hiding. They don't got to hide it because you're so easy to be tricked. So don't come up in my comments trying to call me all type of racist names and all type of negative, profane names because you really are the demon. I'm not on your page commenting, saying anything negative about you because I know I'm dealing with a spirit of iniquity. I know you a demon and I know you're blind. So only thing I do is pray for the weak. Because let me tell you something. I'm going to be like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I ain't bowing down to bow. Throw me in the fire. If I burn, I burn. Cancel me. Unfriend me. But one thing God gonna know is that I stood on his word. I stood on his scriptures. Now that separate the real warriors from the fakes. See, you lukewarm, baby. You trying to serve God and the devil. You can't serve two. You can't serve God and mammon. You a fake and you a phony. And that's what it is. You really don't love God. Y'all ain't really Christians. You see what happened when you took God out the schools? The kids is weird, perverse, and you predators. You can't trust them. You see what a nation look like without God. Look at us. We're a failing nation. We took God out of it. We got all type of iniquity, perversion, hypersexualism, people unenliven themselves, depression, anxiety is at skyrocketed. Everybody needs to see a counselor. It's because you ain't got God in your life. You don't have a relationship with God because God is the way, the truth, and the life. And I'm going to stand on it. And I'm going to stand by God. So if you don't like me, baby, unfriend me. Get out my comments. Get out my page because I'm going to stand with God. And that's why I'm supporting Trump because the other party are full of demons. And it's a lot of things in that party they don't do to support God. And you say you support a felon. They made Jesus a felon too when he came and died for our sins. Beat that man. Because he was doing miracles.
Well, even if you are not religious, regardless of your faith, you should be able to witness and bear witness to the blatant hypocrisy, dishonesty, lying ways of the Democrats. And with that, salute to that, sister. Thank you for that word. And for those of y'all who are in church and saying you believe this and believe that, I would have to ask you, where is your faith? Is it in the blue God or is it in the true God? That would be my question. Because over here, we are voting no to benign neglect. See, one thing you have to do about being right with the Most High is you're going to have to look out for the Most High's people, which is us. So we vote no to benign neglect because we fully understand all that money going to Ukraine is not our responsibility. And because of that, the couch just might be a big winner come November 5th because it's no black agenda, no vote. And Kamala Harris and all of you other black congressional bootlicks, no tangibles, no vote. But at the end of the day, we fully are aware and understand our position, and that's why the grassroots is standing 10 toes down about our reparations. And for the fool that comes around saying, well, you know, man, we got to vote and then we gonna get our person up in there and we might get us something.
How can black people rise up and overcome.
Get out and vote?
That is incorrect. I'm sorry.
Babylon is falling. Babylon is falling. Let it fall and let us rise. Can you dig it? Yes, indeed. And so, I'm sure there will be some out here that are feeling some kind of way. You guys is trying to ruin the party and this and that. And, I get it. There will be those out there, but remember what you have already done. You had came out against our Black elders, and then you tried to rewrite our own history with hip hop. And now chickens is coming home to roost. Just make sure you stay away from that narcotic. But with that being said, we have clearly seen hateful faces in high places, and we are going to have to start addressing those folks, especially that look like us, that come from our community, that come from our lineage, that are still staunch, stomped down, tap dancing Sambos. For all of you Black so-called congressional politicians, all of you get one of these.
Sambo, Sambo, Sambo.
And for those of you who believe that we should stay on the political treadmill of the Democrats rather than going forward, see, forward for us, what does forward look like for Black America? Forward looks like looking to us to dictate the policies that we will accept and the policies that we won't accept, and the people that need to come and bargain for our vote. If you don't understand the concept of getting something for your vote, then I don't know what to tell you. But if you don't want something for your vote, that's fine. But don't try to convince the rest of us that that's a good idea, because we know better. Oh, yeah. And once more, never forget, all of those Black politicians that never, ever, ever, ever mention gentrification. If you think that this should go unchecked while we've watched all of these people getting money already, don't tell me to vote for no $25,000 when you giving them 30. No, sir. But for those of you who are stupid enough to believe that we should accept whatever crumbs that the Democrat Party wants to give us because our ancestors fought and died and they went and died to vote blue no matter who. No, they voted for freedom. And if you are too brain dead to understand, you are trapped in the slave mind, voting for the same thing, getting nothing else. Stop asking other people to be insane with you. But I clearly see that you are stuck on the hill you were prepared to die on. But in one last effort for you to understand the error of your ways, let me offer you this. For myself, Beatzilla PDX Official, the Beatzilla PDX Official Show, those of you in the chat, the grassroots, the voices of new Black media, I am very certain, I am sure to say I speak for all parties involved when we proudly dedicate this song to you.
Get up off of that cocaine and get up off of that crack. Get yourself together and get your mind back.
Yes, you do. Hashtag hands off our reparations.
You have no rights here. We're not under the empire.
And with that being said, family, you can follow me at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at X at beatzillapdx. You can email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And if you feel so inclined to put some money in the bucket and support this channel, you can do so at CashApp at $beatzillapdx. And we also have PayPal, which is Zilla Music. That is ZILLAMUZAK at PayPal. And with that being said, family, let me do this real quick and let me get on in here and shout out the members before I go. I almost got out of here without doing it, but I remembered this time. So let's get in here. No. That's the subscribers. Let me get in here to the members. All right, I'm getting here and holler at my members. So we are doing our member roll call here. All right. So we have Moonrise. We next, aka Dark Skin Brother. And we also have the main Dark Skin Brother account. Salute to our good brother. Cult-like personality. The Church of Black Empowerment. Antithesis. Judah Yisrael. Key Prince. Crew Reality. Faith Speaks Life. Lady Effa. Black Spider, and Deneen Soul. Thank all of you for being members. I appreciate each and every one of you. Peace, power, blessings, and protection be up on each and every one of you. Thank you so much. And with that being said, we are getting ready to get out of here. So I hope that you guys have a good rest of the week. See you on the next broadcast, and keep your notification bell on. There might be something coming tomorrow. We'll see. And with that being said, y'all stay black, stay vigilant, stay alive. Black first, black first, black first. Shalom, y'all. Have a blessed night.
When you know who Satan is, yes, sir, you don't have to kill him. No. The stone of truth. Yeah. See, that's what you throw. Yes, right. Allah says, had we wished to take a pastime from before, surely we would have done it. Nay, we cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brains. Every one of you that knows the truth, stand up and tell it from the mountaintop. Black people can't take it no more. So wherever you are on the job, in the factory, I don't care where you are. If you know the truth, stand up on the truth and tell Satan, who the hell are you to try and pick my friends? Farrakhan is God's man, and you are from the enemy of God. So to hell with you. Stand up on it like a man.